Coach, you can start us off.
All right, so really proud of our players. I know coaches say a lot of times when you win a game and it's one play game at the end. I thought our guys played great defense basically the whole night. Played really well in the second half running the football and then ended the game running the ball. So that's really good to see. We put ourselves in a lot of poor positions by continuing to punt, but we were playing to our defense at times too and being conservative because thought that was a good matchup for in the game, and once the game got going, really felt that way. So thought our guy, we weren't perfect by any means. We made it really hard. There were a couple plays that could have made it really easy. And we screwed up some situations, but for guys to come through on the couple short yardage big plays, the pop pass, the pre-scoring was huge, obviously, and then JJ finishing the game with your D tackle running the ball to make sure you get a long one there to convert and basically in the game. So excited to get the trophy back. That was really painful last year to lose that. I kind of thought maybe that, if you're ever going to lose it, that once we learned later on that was Coach Leach's last game, that maybe that was meant to be. So I miss him. I missed him today, and we'll never forget him. So, but I'm glad that obviously we got it back to us, and where we hope to keep it for a while.
Questions?
Lane, this is the second 10-win regular season in program history. You're the second coach to ever win 10 games in multiple seasons at Ole Miss. When you look back at when you first took this job in 2019, what has allowed this program to take the strides that it has, especially where it was when you got here?
Yeah, I don't think any of that could have been predicted. That's been a very strange path. The first year with COVID, and so you don't really have a chance to play non-conference and get 10 wins or something. So, which arguably could have been our most explosive team had it not been for COVID and then opt-outs and all SEC schedules. So, we've had a lot of change. The portal and players and our staff. If you go back and look over our staff, we've lost multiple coordinators, all three coordinators on special teams. We've lost every year and have a new guy. And so just really proud of the guys coming together. That's not easy. And whatever it is, about half of our significant players are new portal guys. And that's a credit for them to gel together. I've said it that system doesn't always work, or else everybody would just sign all portal guys. Everybody would sign all free agents in the professional sports. It looks good on paper sometimes, but then they got to gel together. They got to buy in. They got to take lesser roles, and that's hard to do. So I credit our guys. It wasn't easy along the road. Some guys aren't even here anymore. But these ones that stayed, these ones that bought in, it's really showed up because you got another second half comeback game where we're behind again.
Lane, considering what Pre-Scorn kind of went through this year, to see him kind of get that touchdown to give y'all some separation in this game, like a 2-possession separation, what did that kind of mean?
Yeah, I couldn't have seen a guy go through a worse year at that age. Lose his father, something else that's probably his position to tell you that was really, really tragic that happened to him. And he just, besides going to the funeral, got right back here, never missed a day, just kept working, and then injuries too throughout the year, and he wasn't very healthy today, running out there and still found a way to play. I think he played every snap, besides a few personnel substitutions there. So really, really cool story, and sometimes where there aren't great stories sometimes of guys that are doing things, this is really a good old-fashioned good story of a guy just being a team guy. Hadn't caught a touchdown until last week, never complained, even though he transferred here and had big numbers where he was at before, comparable with all the stuff going on. So I really do love him.
Lane, you talked about how throughout the season how your team has found multiple different ways to win games. It seems like your special teams kind of catapulted you earlier in the game. What do you have to say about Fraser Mazin's performance, keeping Mississippi State within the 20s throughout the whole first half?
Yeah, and I thought there was, on the one they finally got a return, I thought there was two, for sure one, blocking the backs on it. So I thought our coverage units did good. He angled the ball really well. We used starting corner and Prince. A lot of times we used D. Wade even as a gunner because just felt that we were going to play really good defense. We didn't want to give him a special teams return play, to kind of light a fire in the stadium. So we went all out on that.
Right.
Coach, obviously with the regular season complete now, how would you assess Jackson Dart's growth now that you can look back at the whole season from last year?
Really well. I think we had the big passing games early and stuff. I think that not having some linemen helps, or some different protection issues, and that we got to work through and call plays a little bit different, especially against that defense. But I think his leadership skills and his toughness, can't be questioned. I mean, you saw the hit he took, and he's going back in there before you can even get him to not go in. So you don't even have a choice to hold him out. Spencer Sanders went in for actually plays we had scheduled where we kind of had one where Dart would limp off, so they would think he was out knowing we would just run it and had speed option with Spencer. So good Spencer went in there and made a play too for us.
Lane, you guys are going to be right on the borderline of a New Year's Six. What would your pitch be to the selection committee of why Ole Miss deserves a spot in New Year's Six?
Well, I'm not going to go on a very long one because, one, I call my buddies and coaches, that don't work. So they all do it, and they start like mid-season. This is why we're in 4 and we should be 3. It doesn't even matter. Just get in the 4. But with this, they're not going to listen to me and say, oh, that was a good point Coach Kiffin made. We're going to move him up, put him in New Year's 6. But, I mean, I think this one's a pretty good argument where, you went 10-2. Super hard schedule. Even your non-conference people for the most part played well, but your 2 losses are at Alabama and Georgia, the 2 people going to SEC, playing as well as anybody at their place. So, I'd like to see the other 10-2 people end up 10-2 in their losses, and I would doubt their losses are going to be harder ones than those 2 places to play, because Georgia's about 30-0 their last 30 games, and Alabama has now lost 2 in whatever it's been 52 home games. Now with Texas being the second after Joe Burrow's LSU team. So analytics, that's got to be 2 hardest places to win right now.
Coach, can you just talk about the game plan with running the ball, especially on the road against that veteran led defense, running for over 200 yards tonight? How big was that, just sticking with the run, given how the game was going?
I credit our defensive staff. They did not do, and obviously they don't have the defensive head coach, so maybe he had more influence than we were being told. They did not play aggressive like they did a year ago. They really, both last 2 years against us, they really came up, cover 0, stop the run, create negative plays, and they did not do that very much today. We had to get them into short yardage to do that, which is where you saw us hit the pop, because they weren't giving us that, and that's unusual for them. They went much more conservative, and that's why I would like to say we adjusted, and that's how you end up with 49 rushes to 26 passes is because of that.
Lane, we saw Caden Costa kick the field goal, not Caden Davis, the first time we've seen him all year. What's the thought process of when they did kick him tonight?
Just really wanted to be the only team with 2 Cadens making field goals in games, so. Maybe if you look close, there might have been a schematical something going on there that pre-scoring didn't do right. So it'd be interesting for you to look at and figure out.
Go ahead.
Coach, you said you're thankful for this team. I think it's after some games that after LSU, I think it was thank goodness for this team. It is Thanksgiving, so just what are you most thankful for about this particular group and how they've gotten to this point?
Telling this morning, I think we have a really hard program. I think that we ask a lot of them. We demand a lot of them. We train really hard. We put a lot mentally on them. And, when that coach says that, it's not for everybody. And we've seen that this year. If you look at through the season, some names that they're not here anymore. It's really not for everybody. And so I commended these guys staying through. We don't have as much depth as you'd like to have, partly because of that. And so they bought in, and they play for each other. And it's just really cool to see, because that is the number one concern. Just like NBA, you see those guys sign great free agent teams. They're going to go win it, and now all of a sudden midway through the year they're losing games and they're not any good because they don't mesh, they don't have chemistry. Well, that's like 5 people. We got 85. So it's not going to work every time unless you get the right ones, and then they come together and they do the work.
Lane, some of your players kind of build up talked about the coaching staff kind of leaving emotion out of his preparation. How did you feel like your guys handled the emotion of tonight?
I thought good. And they were down on me because I didn't ride a four-wheeler into the game. So they're like, Coach, what's up? And I'm like, well, it's kind of with our theme of let them have all the energy, let them have all that. We'll weather that storm early, and then our plan was to out-execute them, not get late penalties, not get in fights with them, not play their game, and then just out-execute them and keep – the run's going to take a while, but we're just going to have to keep breaking away at it, breaking away, and then the runs will pop. And that did some.
We'll take one more.
Coach, you've won a few of these Egg Bowls now. It wasn't too long ago you were new to this rivalry. What's it mean to just see those players and those seniors? Like you've seen this a few times. Probably doesn't get old now, but what makes this game special now that you've learned it and that you've had a lot of success in this game?
I think just being around it, and not even like the actual game itself, the stories of Eli Manning being around and talking to the team this week, Tom Luke, and so the passion of those guys, and just even today I was reading a book on a long bus ride, some of the historic games over here, and it's so I think that gave me more appreciation for it because we don't have this 90% Mississippi team. We got I don't even know what the percentage is, but it's not really high. So for me too, I just had to be in it, and then I think it's like what happens in life, unfortunately. Sometimes you got to lose things in life, and then you start to appreciate them more. So, okay, we got it. First year was COVID. That was cool. Like, hey, we're just going to get it every year. And then all of a sudden, we get it again. Then when we lose it, it's like, whoa, we really lost this thing. And then I got to see how mad our fans were. We go to the photo things and the Rebel Road trip, and then we got no trophy to take a picture with, And they're like, get that Egg Bowl trophy back, Coach. I'm like, okay. So heard a lot of that. So we got it back. So we'll have a better Rebel Road trip this year. More pictures.
All right, thanks, guys.